It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show! Hey everybody, it's the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name is Thomas Chick, and joining me for this week's episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey gang.
And Les Webster.
Hello all.
So how are y'all doing this fine evening?
Doing alright.
Doing well, thanks. And you?
Doing okay. Hope everybody out there is doing alright. So, what's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
Well, I've been fiddling around on Netflix again because apparently watching 7 different series at a time is not enough. I had to go find another one. But this is a Netflix original series entitled White Rabbit Project. And if you have not heard of this, if you are familiar with Mythbusters, and you remember the B-team from Mythbusters, Grant, Carey, and Tori, they have a show on Netflix now called White Rabbit Project, and they're doing kind of a fun little twist. It's a little more storytelling type twist, so they're telling stories about various. They'll have a general topic, and they'll have a handful of stories about it, and they'll kind of rate them and rank them, and take like an hour to do it. And they're doing some fun experimentation and building some interesting stuff, and kind of like they used to do on Mythbusters. And I've watched a couple of them so far, and it's pretty fun. I think it's 10 episode run so far, and I haven't heard anything about renewal, but it's kind of fun because I used to like watching Mythbusters back in the day.
Cool.
That is cool.
How about you, Les?
I have been catching up on my Doc Savage reading, and took the wife to a showing of Casablanca at one of the theaters here. She turned to me afterwards and said, "How come it is so crowded in here?" I said, "Look at the average age of the people here. That's why Casablanca draws this kind of crowd." I think the youngest person there was probably in their 40s. But it was a great time to sit down and watch a classic once again. Loved it.
It is widely regarded as one of the best movies of all time. And there's a reason for that.
Yes, there is.
Honestly, I've been trying to catch up on my reading. I'm several weeks behind, unfortunately. On some titles, some I'm caught up with, but some are behind, and that's been pretty much it. I have nothing spectacular. I hadn't really been doing a lot of TV watching this past week, except for a little postseason football and that kind of stuff. That's about it.
That was one hell of a game between the Packers and the Cowboys last weekend.
Yeah, that was that. Well, I'm trying to. I mean, I'm not a big Cowboys fan, but I do support them to a little bit, and it was a sad ending to a very incredible season. I was thinking about this the other day. If somebody had told a diehard fan, Cowboy fan, in August that to start the season you would be starting your third string quarterback, who is a rookie, in addition to having a rookie running back, and basically win the NFC East and then lose the game by a last-second field goal. That's after coming back trailing by 18 at one point and 15 another time.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday had two of the best games. Sunday. With two of the best games.
Yeah, the Steelers.
You had the
Chiefs too.
The Steelers game with a 2-point difference, and the Cowboys game. I have watched both of those games twice on the NFL Network, replays.
Oh yeah, talk about your close endings. How about the holding call on the 2-point conversion to tie the game?
Oh,
How
that
brutal
was,
is that?
yet I look at the replay and to me they got the call right.
Oh, it was a holding call. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he was
It,
holding him. I
it,
mean, he pushed him to the ground. That's
yeah, it was a wrestling takedown right there.
yeah. I mean, absolutely. But how heartbreaking.
Yeah. But looks like it's going to be interesting conference championship games and might be a very interesting Super Bowl.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I wouldn't discount those Falcons. They look pretty good. Anyway, that's our little sports comment in a comic book or geek podcast. So
Hey, sports nuts are just another breed of geek. They just don't know it.
Exactly. It's just that, yeah, they're sports nerds because you talk to someone and someone could be able to tell you like the starting lineup of the 1984 Detroit Tigers or that kind of thing. It's the same thing.
Right. If they're going to start quoting stats at us, then you know what? That's nerdy. I mean, and that's fine. Just don't get uppity when we mention that's nerdy.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anything else?
No, I think we've hacked off everybody we can with that. But anyway.
Yay! All righty. Before we get into this week's show, I want to take a couple of minutes to thank our sponsors for their support. And first off, I want to thank Make Mine Indie by Peter Smitty of Alternative Comics. If you're not aware of this, if this is maybe the first time you're checking out our podcast and haven't heard of Make Mine Indie, it is a digital catalog of independent titles that may not necessarily be carried by distributors. It is the winter catalog which is out now. It's 138 pages, if I'm not mistaken, of different titles. There's reviews, there's interviews with some of the creators, there's previews of some of the books. If you go to our website, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, and go to our sponsors page, you will see a link to where you can download a free copy of the catalog. We highly recommend that you do this and check out some of the titles, some of the books we've actually recently reviewed. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't the Case File Arkham part of the new catalog?
It sure was.
And of course, alternative comics books are there, such as Croak and a few others. So definitely take a couple of moments, check that out, and you won't regret checking out these books because a lot of good stuff there that you wouldn't be aware of. We weren't aware, and we basically, we handle a lot of indie titles.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in that catalog, and it's definitely you will very likely find something you like in there.
Yep.
And there's notes on how you can find them, how you can get access to them.
Yep. Also, we want to thank Things from Another World for being a sponsor of the Fellowship. They're running some great deals now, in addition to their regular 40% off of comics, statues, toys, and merchandise, and 30% off select pre-order manga titles, and the ever-popular 50% off Nick and Dent comics and graphic novels. The new sales they have going on is there is a $1 back issue sale that goes till the end of February. They are running deals on Game of Thrones glass sets. Pint glasses were normally $19.99. They're now $12.48. Shot glasses, same deal. Those are till the end of January, and a lot more pretty cool deals as well. So while you're on our sponsors page, feel free to click on one of the images for Things from Another World. That'll take you to their website. That lets them know that we sent you there. And take advantage of some of those awesome deals that are running right now. Alrighty. For this week, we are joined by Ashley Robinson, who is a editor for Top Cow and a writer. Most recently had a story in Love is Love anthology. Hopefully you've been able to get a copy of that book. I know I hadn't. I'm still waiting, and we're actually getting a third printing coming here soon. And I was also a co-host of Geek History Lesson podcast. But she's joining us this week to talk about her new project with Jason Inman that's currently available on Kickstarter. It's called Jupiter Jet. And without further ado, we join the conversation in progress.
Yeah, Geek History Lesson we've been doing for forever. It's like the thing that Jason and I have been doing longest. I think this is our third year. We've been doing it since 2013 in February. I think I don't know when things happen, guys. They just happen to me. Because Geek History Lesson is not a news podcast, it's obviously it just requires a bit of research. I say a bit. It takes like a whole day for a lesson, but we can time those out a little more at our leisure than if you're coming out with, a weekly release schedule or something like that. I don't know. I don't have a life. It's less exciting when you live it, I assure you.
It sounds very full.
It's a good like first world problem to have. It's like, I have too much to do. I could have like real problems and I don't, so it's nice.
Okay. And then you write comics as well. You had a story in the Love is Love special.
Yes, that was so awesome.
I still have not been able to get a hands on a copy. I don't know if I've been able to find a copy here in the Dallas area. I think
they're about to go into their third printing.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's amazing.
That's good news. That means that, a lot of people are interested and want to support the cause.
Yeah, and all the money goes to support victims of the Pulse massacre. Nobody who worked on it got paid. We all donated our time and our money. All the pages were traditionally drawn, so they will be auctioned off at a Comic-Con this year. I don't know if Mark has officially announced which one it's going to be at. But yeah, it's like it couldn't have happened to a nicer comic that it got to sell out. If you have had a chance to pick that up, listeners, Jason Inman and I also co-wrote a page of that called Swan Song, and you can find us right beside Liam Sharp, Artist of Wonder Woman's page. So Woo-hoo! That's really freaking cool.
Prime real estate right there.
Yeah, he's also a lovely human being. So I would encourage you, if you like his page, to tell him that you like it as well.
He is a real cool guy. I've talked to him a little bit via Twitter, and man, he's a good guy, and man, 2016's been a very good year to him, and he's been so appreciative of it, which is nice to see.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want success to happen to someone who's a jerk. You're like, oh well, must be nice for you. But he's actually amazing.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. You and Jason, I think, had a story in the If anthology as well.
Yeah,
or a couple of them.
Yeah, we co-wrote a story in that, which is Alterna Comics science fiction anthology. We're the first story in the book, so if you buy it, you only have to read the first 7 pages. I'm kidding. The rest of the book is amazing too, but it's really cool that we're the first story in that. It's a character named Captain Terrific, and he'll be around. There might be plans to continue him, and then we have a separate plan with Alterna. So if you like our work there, I would encourage you to keep your eyes open over there as well. And then we have separate stories in an anthology coming out later this year called Not Forgotten, where we took characters that are in the public domain and sort of reinvented them for the modern comics audience.
That's very cool. Yeah, we're big fans of Alterna here. Of course, Peter's
the best. I want to be Peter when I grow up.
Peter's so awesome. Actually, Make My Indie is a proud supporter of the Fellowship as well. A little bit of a plug there, but so.
Yeah, plug away.
Yeah. he's a great guy, and we've been digging a lot of their books, so we definitely try to make people aware of all their titles.
Bless you. Bless all of you.
I'm hogging up all the questions. Y'all got anything? Y'all, go ahead, ask. I don't want to. I don't want to hog up the entire conversation.
You're so southern and polite. I love it.
Miss Robinson, I do have a question now.
I have an answer.
I hope so. You said that Jupiter Jet just came to you. In what manner? What were you thinking at the time to come up with this character?
I was actually watching a lot of Sailor Moon. And Sailor Jupiter is my favorite Sailor Scout. So I may or may not have been heavily influenced by that, but I've always loved flying girls as a storytelling device. So it was just a really easy fit. And I'm an English major, so I love an alliteration, but it was mostly Sailor Moon, if I'm going to be completely honest.
There's nothing wrong with
Your
that.
statement of your character landing on the blimp at the first I thought was hysterical. The ne'er-do-well statement I thought was just too good. And I commend you on that, because that was funny stuff.
You said that, and the first thing I thought was I'm not afraid of heights, I'm not afraid of heights, I'm not afraid of heights.
Oh, that's for real, though, because I'm super afraid of heights. I'm glad that you like that, because one of my favorite comic writers is Chuck Dixon, who wrote the Tim Drake Robin and Nightwing and Birds of Prey and everything that was good about the Bat family in the 90s. And he has like the school of thought that you should start and end every comic book with a splash page. And I really like that, so I try to co-opt that as much as possible. And that's what I did in the first issue of Jupiter Jet. I suppose I should explain that for people who haven't read it yet. The first page is her on a blimp in the sky, trying not to fall.
Chuck Dixon's pretty good. He's a good writer.
He's everything.
It's a pretty good place to take inspiration from.
Mm-hmm.
I have a brief question. Given that we have dirigibles and jetpacks, will there be a lot of other steampunk type technology going on in this book?
Oh, there probably will be. Jupiter Jet is a healthy blend of period piece and science fiction. So if you're a Rocketeer type person, or if you like the Red Panda adventures, either the comics or the audio dramas, it would be very similar to that. There may or may not be automaton type henchmen who you will see showing up. And the more you get to see about her neighborhood, which is called Olympic Heights, the more you will see it is both, I think, like retro future. And there is, at the end of the final issue, it's going to be a 5-issue miniseries, there is a very science fiction twist, which if we do well enough, we'll be able to dive into more in the second arc of the book. But yes, great call.
Yeah, I was going to ask how many issues you had planned. So you jumped the gun on that one, but that's all right.
Yeah, 5.
No big deal.
Only 5.
That's good, because more and more companies are doing 5-issue, taking a break, and then coming back. And I can see this happening with your title also. Hopefully that'll happen.
Right, everybody cross their fingers for us that it'll happen. Because we do, in a perfect world where everything happens exactly as Jason and I would like it to happen, we have 5 arcs planned for this series, so we would really, really like to be able to get, down the road to issue 25 or so. We have 5 nice collections, and then we pay some smart artist to do a cool trade design so they all line up nice on your shelf. But I don't want to put the cart before the horse too much, but we have thought a little bit about where it might go past this first arc.
That's awesome to hear.
Well, and having Action Lab on board is a really good start to that.
It's a big help, yeah. And they're amazing, and they've been nothing but completely supportive, so we're super lucky to have them, because I think this happens to everyone on their first series, but you feel like a little bit like you're just water, and they can be there to be like giving a helping hand or guidance, because most of the people who work on the editorial side over at Action Lab are also doing their own work, their own series through the company, so they really have a true understanding of what you're going through and what your questions might be.
And Action Lab puts out some really good books, so that you're in great company. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was just going to say
Right.
we're kind of big fans of them as well, in addition to Alterna.
It's cool because I was a huge like Molly Danger and Tomboy fan before we got brought into the Action Lab family. So
Tomboy is awesome.
Oh, it's so good, right?
Tomboy is awesome.
I can't wait for that to be a movie. It's gonna be so kick-ass.
Can you do that live action without like a $200 million budget?
Don't even do it live action though. Just do it like CGI, like Big Hero 6. It would be so cool, like blood and guts and all. It would be amazing.
It would. I think.
Well,
I think the
Go
preview
ahead.
the preview to that is going to be whatever they do with the. I'm blanking. What is the name of the Scarlett Johansson thing? I can't believe
Lucy?
No, the one that's coming out this year.
Oh, Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. I can't believe I blanked on that name. But yeah, I think that whatever that looks like, that adds some blood and guts, and I bet that's going to be.
Oh yeah. It also feels very like Matrixy, so I like that.
Well, Les and I are big fans of Vito Del Sante's Stray series, and I'm glad that it's going to become a ongoing. I can't wait for that.
I took a peek at his crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah.
Also a great human being. So again, nice to see nice people having success.
Yeah, he seems pretty cool. I've talked to him a little bit as well, and man, he seems like a really nice guy. Yeah, and I totally dig the vibe of the miniseries. So between that and then him writing the Midnight Tiger, there's some really good stuff coming out of Action Lab. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Don't gotta be big too.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
So tell us when the Kickstarter campaign is
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So the Kickstarter campaign, I had to get up early for this, is going to launch on Wednesday, January 18th, because Wednesday is, of course, New Comic Book Day, at 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, because I live in Los Angeles, so that's when that's going to happen. So if you are on the North American continent and you're in the Atlantic provinces of Canada, like my family is, hi family, that'll be noon, and then that'll be 11 on the East Coast. So trying to hit that North American market. I don't know. I can't do the math and tell you what time it'll be in England or Hawaii. I'm really sorry.
Hey, there's an app for that. It's cool.
Right. Just set like a little alarm on your phone, and then, I don't know, go to JupiterJetComic.com and it'll link you and you'll see the campaign. It'll be live or it won't.
Yeah, that's cool. We post on Sunday, so they'll be well out by the time.
So everyone go right now.
That's right.
Absolutely.
It's live right now. Go right now.
Right now, right this minute. Press pause on your little podcast.
And then come back.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And come back and press play again.
We'll still be here.
Mm-hmm. We'll wait.
Exactly.
We'll wait on you. Didn't take long.
I can slip the intermission music in from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh my God.
Well, I am looking forward to the Kickstarter. I want to toss my money. I'm ready.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it, and I feel like it seems like such a big mountain to climb over, guys.
Have you done a Kickstarter?
Well, it's not a mountain for you as much as you've done.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't know if it says this in the breakdown. I don't think it does, but Jason and I actually funded the whole first issue by ourselves. So the Kickstarter is only for the back 4. It's only for issue 2 through 4 because we wanted to throw some of our own money behind a project that we believed in. But it turns out making a comic is really expensive when you have really talented people working with you, and it's important to us to be able to, pay people a living wage, and based on your portfolios and based on what you bring, that can really put your costs up there. So that's why we hope that, like you fine gentlemen, other people want to jump on the bandwagon. And can I just like plug some of our rewards, because we have some really, really cool rewards.
Absolutely.
We have 2 exclusive prints. One is from Wonder Woman artist Nicola Scott. So not only are we beside Liam Sharp in Love is Love, but we have a Nicola Scott Jupiter Jet print. And we have a Nightwing and Revival writer Tim Seeley also gave us a really, really cool print that you can get both of those along with the book. And then we have an exclusive print from Ben Matsuya, who's the artist on the book, Philip Seavey, who you may know from the Tomb Raider comic, and Isaac Goodart, who is the current artist on Postal. And then because Jason and I are fans who became comic creators, we kind of wanted to exploit some of the contacts that we have, but give people a way to maybe follow in our footsteps, not to sound too highfalutin about it. So we have script reviews from Uncanny X-Men and Six Guns Cullen Bunn, and Bizarro writer and Justice League action writer Heath Corson. You can get reviews from both of those on your scripts. I'm much less impressive. I will also give you script notes because I am the head editor at Top Cow, so I do hire writers for a variety of projects, and I'm happy to give you any thoughts that I might have. And then on the art side, we have a really cool portfolio review that you can get from Sheriff of Babylon / Batman artist Mitch Garrett. So come there and buy the book and learn yourself something about how you're going to make some comics.
That's a very impressive list. Now if I can just come up with a script.
You got time. That doesn't expire.
That's
22 pages, not that long.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I really wanted to have cool rewards, and I think those are kind of cool.
I'd say you pulled off that stunt pretty easily there. Yeah. Holy cow.
I think those are cool rewards. I'm speechless. I'm having problems talking right now. That's how shocked I am.
And we're a podcast.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised, actually, how much trouble we have talking.
Great. I'm making great radio for you.
Yeah. That's awesome. That said, maybe you'd like to tell us a little about Geek History Lesson?
Sure. Geek History Lesson is the podcast that I do, also with Jason Inman. There's a running collaboration there, where in about an hour, depending on how much content, we'll teach you everything that you need to know about a character, team, or construct in popular culture. And this week we released our 145th episode on Silk, aka Cindy Moon, taught by me because I love Silk so much. And we wanted to do a podcast for a while, and it's really hard to come up with a name for a podcast and an idea for a podcast. And we have weird schedules, and we both work like in and around entertainment in Los Angeles, so we don't keep regular schedules. So we didn't have the capacity to be a news podcast, but this lets us highlight characters that we love and that are in the spotlight. So we try to tie in our topics as much as possible to stuff that is releasing. Like we did Silk. Well, first of all, because she's finally had enough Avengers that we could talk about her. It's tougher with new characters, and because she just got a new costume update for part of the Marvel, the Marvel Now version 2.0 post Secret Wars timeline. So that, and then like last year we finally did Batman and Superman. I think we were over 100 episodes before we touched either of those characters, but we did it to tie into BVS, unsurprisingly. But with characters like that who are so old, we had to break them up so they're just Batman and Superman, the Golden Age, so up into about the 60s. And when Wonder Woman hits in June, I know I'm going to be teaching Wonder Woman the Golden Age, and then we're going to be moving forward with those characters as their DCEU counterparts progress. But the craziest thing about Geek History Lesson is that we do a variety of characters. We've done TV characters, book characters, video game characters. Like there's a Divergent and a Hunger Games lesson. There's a Teen Wolf lesson. I think I taught all three of those. There's a Tomb Raider lesson. There's an Assassin's Creed lesson. So like we try to reach a wide swath of geekery, but obviously comics is the easiest well to pull from. So that is where most of our content comes from. When we do characters like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Ghostbusters, you have to step outside of the main media because there's only a limited number of movies or television shows. And I don't know. We take it to different Comic-Con conventions. You might have seen us around your town. teaching lessons, playing trivia. We usually play trivia games when we do live shows because it's a little less boring than Jason and I talking at each other over a computer screen.
Yeah, it doesn't make for great TV, the podcasting thing. At least not the way we do it. I don't know.
It's funny because like we do it in the same room, but just because of the sheer amount of research that goes into it, like you're pulling from a bunch of different articles, reviews, and then we each develop our own reading lists so that we can speak to like specific moments and arcs. You have to have like a huge amount of show notes. So we did. People for a long time asked us for a video element. We did the video element, and everyone was not happy with it. Because one of us is basically reading the whole time. The eye contact is limited unless we're in our discussion portion or if we're making jokes or clarifying something. And I think people were surprised by that, which is really flattering on the one hand that you think we just know that stuff. I'm not that organized inside my own brain, but I know it doesn't make for maybe the most compelling watching either. So we didn't keep up the video element. But they do go up on YouTube, but they have a bunch of cool pictures slapped over them, and it's not just us in a room.
Well, and it's interesting because people are hearing about their cool geeky characters that they love on a podcast, but it's a podcast. Once you start to see somebody standing there reading lecture notes at you, it starts to feel like you're in class, and that sucks. So
right. And I mean, we do, like, the construct of it is, like, it's your mind university, like, based off the Mind Palace from Sherlock, and, like, we structure it like a class. We have, like, a recommended reading section. But it's surprising, how many people don't want to feel like they're in a school classroom, even if that's the narrative conceit that you've come up with.
Right, and you guys are very thorough. I mean, I have not listened to the Silk episode yet, but I did listen to the Miss Martian episode. And I now feel like I know Miss Martian better than I know Superman.
Aw, that's so sweet.
I was like, wow. And I mean, I've never really even experienced Miss Martian before, and wow, I feel like I know this person.
She's such an interesting character because I'm sure you guys have all done this, but like I love to do the thing where if I lived in like whatever universe, I would be this character. And I like to say if I lived in the DC universe that I would be Cassandra Cain, but Cassandra Cain is like who I would want to be. I think I would actually secretly be Miss Martian. Kind of this awkward immigrant who doesn't know where she belongs. So researching her was a ton of fun, and it was a great excuse because I love the Teen Titans and I love the Jeff Johns Teen Titans run. That's obviously where she comes from. So I was like, I'm just going to sit here and read 165 issues of Teen Titans because the internet demands it of me.
Oh, darn. What terrible homework to have, right?
It's so hard, you guys. It's so hard.
That's why God gave us Comixology.
Oh my God, for real though. Comixology and then Marvel Unlimited is the truth. It is a blessing.
What are you talking about, Les? You don't read digital comics.
Ooh, called out.
I have.
Dun dun dun.
I did at a convention once.
But they're so efficient. They save so much time and space. I live in LA, so like I live in a small apartment. So I only allow myself so many long boxes and so many trades. So digital comics are important to me.
Yeah, we don't all have multiple storage units full of long boxes, Les.
Is that for real?
Yes.
You should open a store.
Hey,
I'm sorry, but it would be more like a museum. Welcome.
Right?
Look what comics I have. Do not touch. They're not for sale.
It's like the Flash Museum.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, based on what we were talking about last week, Les, when print comics die, you'll be able to open that museum.
That's true.
Print will never die.
Although in Les's case, it wouldn't be a Flash museum, it would be a Batman museum.
Everything is better with Batman, so it's okay.
See, you heard that bus, didn't you? Coming back over again.
Yeah,
I'm just saying the truth.
Yeah, Les picks on us all the time. Sure he does.
As you can tell.
He's the silent but deadly type.
He gets his zingers in, that's for
Wow.
sure.
I don't think I've ever been called a fart before, but okay, thanks.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like a ninja.
Now Ashley gets involved. All right.
Yeah.
One of us. One of us.
One
of us.
Ashley,
I feel-
that's fine. That's fine. I'm old and I'm a fart, so okay.
I feel like I accidentally pushed you in front of the bus. I'm so sorry.
So what else have you planned?
Besides, like as far as crowdfunding?
Well, outside of Jupiter Jet, do you have anything? Do you have stories appearing in other comics?
Oh, I see. This month, I have a short story that is going to appear in Colonial Comics Volume 2, which is an educational comic that it's an anthology of stories that expand and deal with the American colonial history. And I'm a Canadian, so it's super ironic that I'm in that. I worked on that a long time ago, and it's finally coming out, so it's going to be really cool to see that come to life. I have a bunch of super secret things that I can't talk about responsibly because they're all in their development phase. But if all goes well, including Jupiter Jet, I should have 3 comic series out by the end of the year or the beginning of next year. I know that's a long way off, and that's a hard and a long length of time for everyone to keep that in mind and be excited about, but it's exciting. If Jupiter Jet does fund, it'll be printed toward the end of the year, but we will have exclusive number 1s for San Diego Comic-Con, which is very exciting. But outside of that, I'm in a play in Los Angeles. I'm in the world premiere of a play that opens in April called The Man Who Saved Everything. So it sounds very comic booky, even though it's more of a family drama. But I'm super excited about that because it's just me acting and I'm not in charge of it or producing it, and that's so exciting. I'm in charge of so many things and I don't want to be in charge of anything. But that's kind of your freelancer life. My Flash reviews are coming back on DCComics.com next week when the show returns, which also means that over on Jawin, our Flash and DC TV reviews will continue, and then we're going to go back because we just finished up Sherlock, and we're going to retro review all the Sherlock episodes, which will take us into Doctor Who, and then we're thinking about launching a Doctor Who show. Well, that comes back in April because Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor is very near and dear to us. But all my comic stuff is super unannounced and secret. But I would say look for more announcements after this Kickstarter closes, and look for me at comic conventions.
That's tremendous.
I know that's not an answer. I'm sorry.
No, that shows how much busier you are.
I'll tell you off the air.
And hopefully you'll let us know about the other projects when they come to light. Because we'd like to
now that you said that.
We will definitely help promote it.
I was going to say, now that I know I'm allowed to, you're never going to get rid of me.
Yeah.
That's all right. We can live with that.
We're not complaining.
You're going to live to regret that.
Okay.
Try us.
I will.
Come at me, bro.
It's like the most California thing you've said.
So you will be making the tour of cons this year too?
I'm going to be mostly at SoCal conventions. I'm going to be at WonderCon and San Diego Comic-Con and Phoenix and hopefully Superman Celebration. That's not Southern California, but hopefully Superman Celebration. I really, really want to go there. Hopefully something in the Midwest, but I'm not confirmed for that yet. And then I will definitely be at New York Comic-Con. New York Comic-Con is usually one of my last ones for the year. But all the LA conventions I'll be at. And if anyone wants me to come to their conventions, they can let me know at any time.
Well, if you want a Midwest, Dallas does have a big one.
They're on my list.
Good. Thank you.
I'll do my best.
Okay. We'd like to see you here for sure.
I'm going to try. I've been in, I think, less than 10 states since I moved to America. So if I can use comic conventions to take me to other ones, I would like to abuse that privilege as well.
Oh, totally. That's the way to do it.
There you go.
I have been to Texas, but only to like the top part on the way to Kansas. I ate at that big steakhouse.
Oh, the one in Amarillo? Yeah.
Yeah, with the neon cowboy outside. It's really good though. I know it's like a joke because it's got that big steak there, but the food was actually really good.
Sounds like we need to start whispering some names into certain people's ears, huh, Les?
Yes, I think so.
All righty. Got some homework.
We'll find out how much influence we really have.
Which
No
is
pressure.
not much. Yeah, which is not much, but hey, every little bit helps.
Yeah, I will say that the now I'm mush-mouthing it. The Miss Martian episode, you guys talk fast, for sure.
We live in California.
Well, okay, yeah, that might have something to do with it too. So, but
It's a YouTube thing too, where it's like I gotta tell you everything as quickly as I can because you might not ever want to talk to me again. Okay, bye.
Yeah, because you don't have the attention span to watch this for long enough for me to actually tell you everything. But yeah, when we started out, we were aiming for like 30 minutes to an hour, and now we're consistently 75, 80 minutes.
Oh, and it's so funny when people start podcasts. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna be like half an hour, and I'm like, yeah, in your freaking dreams, dude. Like, no way.
Yeah.
Nerds got lots to talk about.
Yeah, that literally never happened. Not from the beginning.
I mean, unless you're like an NPR thing where you have to because they'll just turn you off because the next show is going to start. Like, no way. No way.
Well, we get music in the background, and that tells us that our time is over and it's time to go to the next award. So
You don't stay around and present for the next person? Come on.
they kick us off.
Oh no.
They just play the music louder. So
I'm just imagining like the sad Charlie Brown music where it's like dee 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 dee.
Yeah. If you hang on to that mic
This
long
would be
enough,
our
they'll
theme
break out the
song.
death metal to really blast you off the stage. But anyway.
Well, it could be worse. It could be the piano music from Incredible Hulk as he's walking
that'd
away.
be a good one.
Very fitting, that would be, yes.
Yes,
That's a great song.
as we're trying to hitch a ride.
You're just like out in the Texas plains where the sky's never gonna end. There's tumbleweeds. I saw my first ever tumbleweed when I was in Texas. I'm so excited.
do you want us to ship you some? We'd be glad to.
Oh, I just think they're like so quaint because I'd only ever see them in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. So like when you see something for the first time, you're like, I can't believe that's like a real thing.
Except they're kind of pointy. They do have a tendency to pinch.
I've seen them like not take down a car, but like I've heard them make scary sounds when they like hit cars that sort of can't get out of their way. So I don't know if I need one in my home, but I think they're very quaint.
Armadillos do that too to cars. So.
Oh, you could send me an armadillo anytime. I'd be down for that. I love animals.
All right. Any other questions besides Barbara Walter questions?
Well, I'm out.
Now, give us one last pitch on Jupiter Jet.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. I wish I could do a 1940s announcer voice, but I can't. I'm not good at voices. Jupiter Jet is all about a 16-year-old girl named Jackie. Her father has recently died, and he left her and her genius brother Chuck a mysterious power source and a jetpack that it powers. So in order to look after her brother, save the family business, she becomes the soaring sweetheart of Olympic Heights, Jupiter Jet. She robs from the rich, she gives to the poor, and some shady background characters decide that they can't let the flying girl do what she thinks she has the right to, protecting those around her, all with a science fiction twist at the end of 5 episodes, published by Action Lab Comics, now on Kickstarter, JupiterJetComic.com. Please go and support. Every dollar helps, every share helps, plus There's some really, really cool rewards there, guys, and I think you and everyone you're related to are really going to enjoy it. Was that okay?
That was you didn't need a 1940s announcer voice for that. That was good.
That was pretty awesome.
That was good without it.
Thank you.
I'm tearing up.
Aw. I always want to do it like, the opening to Legend of Korra, where it's like the old newsreel? Like, I wish I could do that.
Dateline, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Walter Winchell. No, that was great.
Well, awesome. Thanks for coming on, Ashley. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And you guys were so nice and Southern. You're just so charming.
Well, we'll definitely be supporting Jupiter Jet
and
financially
and
and
do as well.
Exactly. Yay. Alrighty, thank you, Ashley.
Cool. Thanks for staying up late to talk to me.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. We'd be doing this right now anyway, so you fit beautifully into our schedule. So.
Okay, good.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's do it again sometime, guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we're back. It's time for weekly picks, and leading off is Mikey.
Alrighty. This week I got a Valiant book. It is Bloodshot USA. This is issue 4 of 4, I believe. And if you haven't been paying attention to this, Project Rising Spirit is kind of the bad guys who created Bloodshot. Those guys. They have released a weaponized version of the nanites into New York City so that they can be the heroes and come in and save New York City from the plague, and everybody will love Project Rising Spirit. Well, what they didn't take into account was that Bloodshot and his other nanite-infested buddies have escaped from the island where they were hidden, where they were being kept, and have made their way to New York City with the help of Ninjak, and they are now fighting the plague and the virus and all of the people who are going, completely nutso. And Bloodshot himself has won over the person who was the bad guy on the island, which is Deathmate, which is apparently, her name was Kay. She was a geomancer for a while, and then she got killed, but not really, and it's a little dramatic. But so anyway, they're set up now that they're just about ready to save the city, and this is the point we're at now. And so we're just waiting to see how they're going to pull it off. I may sound slightly sarcastic, but it is actually a very exciting series.
Well, anything Valiant's been really good. One of the things I've kind of chuckled at a little bit, and I mean that in a good way, is the fact that they've acknowledged the past a little bit in certain ways. And a perfect example is what you were just talking about with this series. Deathmate was a event book through the original run. Either it was the original run or it was when they were owned by Acclaim. But for them to take a title of an event book and turn it into, okay, well, this is a character, and I thought was cool. Just like Unity, that was another event book, but they turn it into a code name for their short-lived team of Ninjak and Exo, Man of War, and Livewire, and so on and so forth. So I thought that's cool that they've reused names, but they repurposed them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a nod to the past, but they've done something different with it. So it's
right. They're clearly doing original things and making references to stuff they've done in the past, or stuff that maybe didn't work so well in the past. And boy, is it working now! They're doing beautiful work.
They're not going back to the well like some publishers do, but that's okay. Alrighty, Les.
For my first choice, Boom Studios is putting out Lady Castle #1. This is written by Delilah Dawson, a noted novelist, And Ashley A. Woods, an artist that you may have found with the title Niobe, She Is Life, that came out, well, less than a year ago. It started less than a year ago. Lady Castle to me, is going to be an amusing story because the King Mancastle, and his mighty vassals decide to go on a crusade. They're eaten by a dragon and then have a curse left on the castle, which attracts monsters. So the women have to fight whatever comes toward the castle. They have one man, a knight, that is training them how to battle. And this to me is going to be amusing. I can't say that it's going to be done as a comedy, but it just has a flair when they write it as the king goes off on a quest and they're eaten by a dragon. That kind of sets it up for me. This is Delilah Dawson's first comic book series, and you can go to her website and find several of the novels that she has done in the past. So I'm hoping that this will appeal to our listeners.
Yeah, I'm eager to check this one out as well. I kind of, when I first read the synopsis for it, I was like, oh, this would be interesting. So
Yep,
I'm
cool.
sure it'll live up to it. For my first pick from DC, it is the first issue of Kamandi Challenge. And the premise of this is it's a 12-month book using the character created by Jack Kirby, Kamandi, who lives in post-apocalyptic Earth. And the premise of this series is he's trying to find his parents, which I'm trying to remember from the original runs and all of that, if there was ever any kind of mention to his parents, but irregardless. But the thing that's really cool about this book is that they've taken a concept to a series they did back in the mid '80s that was called DC's Challenge. What they do is every issue has a different creative team, and basically, say for this issue, which is Dan Abnett and Dale Eaglesham, they will end the book on a cliffhanger. So for issue 2, that creative team has to figure out how to resolve the that cliffhanger, because they don't know, they're not supposed to know where the previous creative team was going. So they figure it out for themselves how to resolve it, and then they move the story on their way in their book in a cliffhanger, and then the following team does the same thing. So it's a really, really cool idea, which, if it's executed well, should be pretty cool. I think it would be pretty awesome. The fact that nobody knows how this book's going to end until it actually comes out.
Yes, last week was the setup for the series with the Kamandi special. So I'm looking forward to this storyline too, to see which direction they take it and to be able to see the different writers and artists' interpretations.
Yep. I think it'd be a blast.
Could be fun.
Yep, it could be. Mikey.
Alrighty, my second pick is from Titan Comics, and it is The Mummy #3. In this series, the sect of Anubis is attempting to resurrect an ancient Egyptian priestess, and the deal is they have to essentially summon her into a host body, and they've been having trouble finding a host body that will actually be able to contain her power. And they finally find one with a young lady named Angel, except that ritual gets disrupted, and so the Egyptian priestess is only partly in control, and so she's this poor, and Angel is like this immigrant who was kidnapped and brought to England for this, and so it's just very. She's a total fish out of water, and she's got this strange woman screaming in her head, and she doesn't know who she can trust, and so she ends up a group called the Pyramid Club find her, and they're trying to figure out how to help her, and some of them have their own agenda, and it's actually a very cool story. It's a very elaborate story, which is based on, or loosely based on, the Hammer Films version of the Mummy story. So, which they took some of the Universal monsters and started making British variants on them, and they started in the late 50s and did it mostly through the 70s, if you're not familiar with Hammer Films. So this is, like I said, this is issue 3. I don't remember if this is a 4 or 5 issue series, but it's been a lot of fun so far. It's very fast paced.
Yeah, it definitely has. Yeah, it's been interesting so far.
3 of 5.
3 of 5. I'm interested in seeing how, because this is the first of a few titles from the Hammer line, because I think they're going to be doing some of the other monsters, as you already mentioned. So, this is a good start. It would be cool to see where we go from here.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to this too.
Alrighty, Les.
For my second choice, I am going with Munchkin, number 25, also from Boom Studios. Same writers, Andrew Hackard, and the art is by Len Peralta. This is the final issue of the series, Spike and Flower's final adventure. If you've been following this, which has been really fun, done in one series, I'm wondering what they're going to do, because this is an oversized, and from this, I don't know if they're going to do small runs of things or not. But it's been a good series. You've been able to play the game from the comic book. They have supplied you with extra cards or extra rules throughout the series. So what they're going to do in this, hopefully they will set it up where a series will, or the series will return in the near future.
I didn't realize that's the last of it. Wow.
Yeah.
I was wondering how long it was going to run.
Yeah, I've thought about that off and on, but it's been going.
Hey, 25
That's
issues is a pretty good run.
That's a very good run. Yep. I'm not
Especially
negative about it.
especially for, like Les said, as essentially a series of standalone issues. I mean, there's some of them have had multiple stories even, so it's smaller stuff.
Right.
And it's fun stuff in its own way.
Yeah, I can see it coming back, because if it's been popular enough to where it lasted 2 years, I can see them turn around and just taking a little bit of a break and then bringing it back again.
Sure, like a Son of Munchkin type title.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, what they could do is just do like a series of mini-series kind of based off the expansions.
Totally, yeah.
Like a Space Munchkin or Munchkin Bites.
Super Munchkin.
Super Munchkin.
There's a ton of them. We're not going to be able to list them all here.
No, but just as examples, just kind of go off the ones that they could do, because obviously there's some like Conan, they can't do that since since Boom doesn't have
not without crossing over with Dark Horse, they can't.
Yeah, right. But it would be cool. It'd be they can go different ways with it. Alrighty, for my second choice, from Third World Studios, it is the Stuff of Legend, Call to Arms #1. This is book 5 of the series, and if you're not familiar with it, I think all of us would recommend you checking out the very first trade. Matter of fact, I think you might be able to find a free comic book day. I think there's going to be a comic book day offering this year for book 5, but just take our word for it. You find the first volume of this. It's a great book. The premise is it is Europe, if I'm not mistaken, right around World War II, and a little boy is kidnapped by the boogeyman. He's taken into his closet, which is actually another dimension. And some of his toys decide to go after him to rescue him. And it's Jack in the Box, a little plastic soldier, a little Indian princess, and so on and so forth. And his puppy. And they go into the closet to go to this other world to rescue their master. It's been a really, really cool run. And this is actually the start of what they're saying is the penultimate run. So there's obviously going to be 6 books to this. And this is written by Mike Raitt. I'm sure I mispronounced his name. And then with art by Charles Paul Wilson. It's just a beautiful book all the way around. Highly recommend going back and checking this out and then getting this series as well.
Did this title begin in 2013?
Something like that.
2012? Because what I remember is on Free Comic Book Day, they had a hardbound edition for it. A small comic of hardbound edition. And it caught my eye right away, and it's been top notch since. It's a good, solid story.
Yep, I've enjoyed the heck out of it.
As have I, yeah.
Cool. Any honorable mentions? I have one, but do y'all have one as well?
I have one.
Okay.
Oh, now you want it now? Okay.
Oh no! I mean, I can go ahead. I can go ahead and do mine.
Just messing with you. I'm just messing with
Okay.
you. No, I actually, for an honorable mention, I will be brief. Zenescope is doing a volume 3 of their Grim Tales of Terror series, and issue 1 of that comes out this week, and it features the Invisible Man.
Yep.
Cool.
Enough said, I think.
Yep. It looks interesting, and volume 3.
Yeah, these are usually really fun stories that they do. It's usually a bit of a twist on what you're used to with whatever character they're using for this. So this should be fun.
Mm-hmm. And another one that's a done in one.
Yes. Yeah, They usually do like 6 of these at a time, and then do a trade of it. So this is volume 3.
Yep. My honorable mention is from Black Mass Studios. It's the first issue of a new book called The Dregs, written by Lonnie Nadler, and art by Eric Zawadiski. And I'm sure I butchered that. I apologize. But the whole premise is it's a city where all their homeless has been relocated to a 6 square blocks that's called The Dregs. And what happens is several people start disappearing, and one of the homelessmen, who is a fan of detective stories but is also a drug addict, decides to take it upon himself to find out what the heck's going on. This sounds exactly like what Black Mass Studio puts out. It's a little dark, but it's really intriguing stories that you would just not see from other publishers. So I'm excited to get my hands on this one.
Yep, agreed.
Same here.
Les, you have an honorable mention?
Yes, I do. Stumptown, The Case of a Cup of Joe. This is volume 4 of the series, written by Greg Rucka and art by Justin Greenwood. These two have worked together on the 3 volumes for Stumptown. First one was the case of the girl who took the shampoo but left her mini. The second one was, to me, the favorite so far, the case of the baby in the velvet case. And the third was the case of the King of Clubs. Greg Rucka has been around. He's an author. He's a comic book writer. He was the man that gave you Whiteout and Queen and Country. Greenwood has done artwork for Wasteland and Fuse, probably the more recent things for them. In this title, Dex Perios, a female detective, she is Portland's best PI, takes on the assignment to escort a package of highly prized coffee beans. But she doesn't know of the barista mafia and eccentric billionaires who are wanting this coveted coffee. She comes face to face with them and has to deal with it. It's a really good detective story, and it will be coming out as a collected. So if you get the chance, get this one and even look back and get the previous collections because they are good read.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm interested now.
Yep. Alrighty. It's that time again. Any particular shout-outs this week?
Just a general thanks to Ashley for joining us.
Oh, definitely. That was she was a blast. Love to have her on again anytime she wants. Anytime she wants to just kind of hang out with us and just chit chat or whatever. She's more than welcome. That was fun.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's shout out to Manny the Martyr for our awesome music that you hear each week, an opening and closings, and our little interlude if you wanted to add that in as well. Great group of guys, awesome musicians, put out some pretty cool tunes. If you check our show notes or go to our website, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, go to our podcast page. There will be a link there to go to their page and check out what they've got going on and listen to some of their other fine music. Thank you guys very, very much. And secondly, Potter and Family, hashtag Potter and Family on Twitter. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and spreading the word of the Fellowship. It's much appreciated. Guys, if y'all have not checked it out, go to Twitter and just do a search. Hashtag Potter and Family, one word. There is a podcast on any subject matter that you can think of that's being put out by some really cool people. Anybody in particular we want to say hey to this week, Mikey?
Absolutely. This week we're going to throw a little shout out to the Now That I'm Older podcast. These are a couple of guys, Shane and Kenny, who, and actually I think I've talked about them before, but last week, and I'm actually just the tiniest bit late, I could have timed this a little better, but I wasn't sure when they were going to release it, but they released their 100th episode last week. So congrats to them for that.
Definitely.
And check out their podcast. They are an absolute hoot. They talk about, they pretty much talk about anything, but mostly they tell funny stories from their past, and relate things to the fact that they're not the crazy kids that they once were, and it's definitely worth a listen.
Awesome.
That is cool.
All right, of course, we shout out you, dear listeners. Thank you for downloading this episode and all the other episodes. Thank you for listening. We are always open to feedback. If you have comments, suggestions, questions, please feel free to shoot them our way. And there are several ways you can do that. You can shoot us an email at thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, or you can go to our website, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, go to our About Us page, and there is a contact form there that you can fill out, and we'll get that as well and respond to you as quickly as we can. Or you can contact us through social media. We are on Facebook, The Fellowship of the Geeks, one word. Feel free to like us, and if you want to shoot us a message that way, please do. We always welcome it. As I already mentioned, we are on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Feel free to follow us and let us know that you've been checking out our podcast or just checking out the website. whether it's our previews or our reviews, just let us know. We're always interested. Mikey has his own Twitter page, at Mikey Geek, and I have one as well, at TomTCGeek. Feel free to follow us there and let us know that you've been checking us out, checking out the Fellowship. We always appreciate it. And while you're downloading or checking out our episodes, whether it's at iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, or just checking us out on YouTube, feel free to rate us, whether it's thumbs up, thumbs down, stars, or whatever rating system they have. Please do. And if you can spare an additional couple of minutes, please write a review. We always welcome that. Did I miss anything this week?
I don't think so. I think you nailed it.
All right.
Man, you're getting good at this.
Slowly but surely. So, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
No, just the usual thanks, everybody.
I have to agree.
He has to agree because we have pictures of him in a compromising position. No, we don't. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Wow.
We don't.
Wow.
That was the slow motion version of the beeping of the truck backing up. But anyway.
I think it was.
It should be more like a Band-Aid. Just rip it off. Don't slowly back up over me.
On that note, we thank you, everybody, for checking us out and listening. Y'all take it easy. We love you guys. Until next time, read more comics and support your local stores. We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email at thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,